here we've got an image of the guys from Distorted Silence, and location was at Fenders. And so first thing I'm doing here is exporting out the original image just so that you have something to compare it to. I don't normally do that. But you can see everything's dark there. If I bring up the exposure, you can see everything that's in the room. You can see stuff on the side like that ladder that's off on the right, the wall, the white wall on the left. Things, elements that make the room seem as small as it actually is, and we want to make it seem a little bit bigger. There are also these damn bathroom signs. I always try to get rid of those if it's not stuck right behind somebody's head. So we'll see what we can do with that. So first thing I do is I bring up clarity. It adds a bit of graininess to the photo, and I try to back some of that off, but I like how it makes some of the things pop. But it also makes certain colors come out a little bit stronger. You can see that Dan, the guitarist, is a bit purple, and Simon, the bassist, is yellow, and Rico is pretty much spot on. So first I'm going to crop out the sides and the bottom of it. Don't like the janky floor. Don't like the stuff that's in the hallway. So try to crop it a bit so that the focus is on the performers themselves. And then I'm going to do a mask, and the masking is used to bring out or focus on specific items or people. So in this case, I'm going to focus on Dan, the guitarist, because he is purple and nobody else is quite as purple. So then I got to play around with these color sliders and try to find a color that is at least not shockingly purple and a little bit closer to natural skin tone. And sometimes I can get there, sometimes it's difficult. In the case of Simon, he's yellow. So we got to change him a little bit. And the colors are different just because of a combination of skin tone and mostly whatever light is shining on the person. Simon, I got him looking pretty natural, a bit more natural than Dan. Jason, I won't have to worry about because he's hidden by a symbol in that case. So here, what I want to do is create a mask just for Rico, just to play with him a little bit and get all of the guys on there. And what I'm doing here is trying to focus on the background because I want to bring the light of the background down, but I still want the Distorted Silence banners in and the drum kit and the floor. So what I'm doing is painting certain things to remove them from the background mask. So I took care of the banners. Now I'm painting everything that's on the floor and painting the drum kit so that I can at least get the drum kit in there because I think that's a cool part of the image, and the guitars as well. Fix Simon's head just a little bit, and once I've got that, all that red stuff is what I'm going to be changing. So I bring the exposure down, not completely down to black. I still want something to show there, otherwise it looks a little bit weird. So that takes care of that. Now I've got to fix this damn bathroom sign. So that's pretty easy. You can see I can move it around, and whatever I move over, it will duplicate, but I just want to duplicate the black spot. So that takes care of that. So here I'm messing around a little bit more with the exposure rates of the stage. I can zoom in, and I'm going to remove some of the graininess, but I don't want to remove all of the graininess. If I remove it all, then it looks ridiculous. Which you can see right there, it looks a little bit cartoonish. So I leave some graininess. It gives a good, I think, good rock and roll feel to it. Don't want things to be too incredibly smooth, especially with low light. Fix a few blemishes that I spot on the stage. You know, you probably never notice it, but I would. Once I see it, I got to do something about it. Okay, so now I want to do something completely different. And so I've got to open up Adobe Photoshop and switch over there. Some of the tools in Photoshop are a lot more powerful than what's in Lightroom. So sometimes I got to switch over here. So that background is dark. You can see a couple of those dim lights up at the top. But what I'm going to do is add a couple of lens flares to this. So I've got a few different options, and I can move it around exactly where I want to have it, and I can change its intensity. In this case, I'm going to do two different types of lens flares covering up those actual lights, and it even gives some interesting double exposure effects. And this is an extra. This is a movie lens or something. It has those nifty blue lines. So I save that. I go back to Lightroom, but now things are way brighter than I want them. So I'm going to increase the blacks on this and play around with the light intensity. I can make it super saturated, which again, you push things to the extreme, they look a little bit ridiculous. I want it to look interesting. I want it to look different, but not so much that it's shocking. So you can see the original with no lights and the new one with the actual lens flares. Change the lighting just a little bit there on Dan because of some of the changes I made. It made him a little bit extra purple. But this is part of the process. I make some changes and it impacts things that I don't want it to impact. Simon got a little bit more yellow, so I created another mask and bring that down just a little bit, and play with the clarity some more, see if I like that. So you can see a little bit of the background. Maybe it's better without it. I don't know. Then I don't always do this, but if I don't like the lights, I can go in here and for red and green and blue, I can play around and nudge things really far if I want to, or just a little bit. So I will often play with that just to get a little bit more precise than I can with the other sliders, and bring the saturation down, look a little bit better, and then I can export, and I am done. And if I scroll through these images, you can see the original, and the new one. Original and new. Original, new. And yeah, pretty cool. Okay, what else? Wanted to show something else. All right. So one of the things that I do is I take bursts of photos. So I get lots and lots and lots of photos, and I will cull through these and decide on the one that I really like. So you'll typically only get one of those. Sometimes there will be a couple. One of the things I did with this one was after I brightened it up, you can see Rico's eyes a bit too clearly. So I just chose those specific lenses and darkened those to make the sunglasses a little bit more prominent. That's one of the little things that I got to mess with. And here's another. This is a fun one. So there's the original. Look at that. There's that microphone stand shoved right up Rico's ass there. So I don't like that. So one of the things I do is get rid of it. So no more microphone stand up Rico's butt. That's one of the things you don't notice when you're taking the photo necessarily. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed. No more microphone stand up.